Welcome inside our Los Angeles studio. The NFL is back, and so are we. The More Ways to Win team here to get you ready for all the Week 1 action. Thanks for hanging with us. I'm Lisa Kearney with my guys, betting expert Dave Weaver,
Yo.
Ed Egros, our analytics expert, and of course, roll call the rest of our starters, guys. Sports Talk radio show host Andrew Filipponi joining us in Pittsburgh. The face of Marquee Sports Network in Chicago, Cole Wright. They are hanging with us to give us their picks. Plus, FanDuel's editor-in-chief and DFS expert JJ Zachariason will be giving out his best fantasy plays. And of course, a quick reminder for all of you at home, download the FanDuel Sportsbook app right now because we're giving new users a risk-free bet up to $1,000. Be sure to plug in that promo code right there on the bottom of your screen, More Ways 1000. When you sign up for your new account, get your risk-free bet just for playing with us. It's that easy. We take care of our people. And right now, we're taking care of you. We're kicking off this game. Previews, huge AFC matchup in Kansas City. Let's get to it. The defending AFC champs, my Kansas City Chiefs, hosting Baker Mayfield's Cleveland Browns. Cleveland looking to build on last season, which they went to the playoffs, as we all know, for the first time since the 2002 season. Then you got the Chiefs ready to just get back on the field after that embarrassing blowout loss in Tampa. I'm ready to stop talking about it as well. The Chiefs are a 6.5-point home favorite here. Dave, does Kansas City cover that number at Arrowhead?
I don't think that they do. I think Cleveland rides that momentum that they brought in from last year, where they covered, by the way, in their final game of the year and losing to Kansas City. They only lost by 5 in a similar situation like this, where they were getting about a touchdown. So I think 6.5 is too many points for me. Cleveland has covered 4 straight in Kansas City. And what I remember about Kansas City last year, they won a lot of games, but they didn't cover a lot. They were not a good team against the spread, only covering once the second half of the year. So I think they're going to get off to a rocky start against the spread, maybe win the game, but I don't think by 6.5.
I'm completely with you. A lot of reasons why there are a couple of concerns from last year to this year as far as the Browns are concerned. Yeah, the Browns' pass defense was not great. They did have a significant overhaul there, so maybe that'll be a little bit better. But at the same time, when you look at Baker Mayfield and what he accomplished a season ago, it was despite the fact that he had the longest average time to throw of any starting quarterback in the NFL. And that should be a concern because the longer you hold on to the football, the likelier you are to get sacked. And even though Baker Mayfield avoided some of those sacks a season ago, it could be a good bit worse this go-round. And so I expect this Chiefs defense to go ahead and feast. I'm probably expecting a lower scoring game in this one. My number is closer to 5, which means the Browns are covering.
Okay, here we go. The right take is back, so let's get back out to Chicago. Bring in our NFL expert, Cole Wright. Cole, hey, you heard these guys give their picks. Which team do you have winning, and by how many points?
Well, surprised to see those two agree on anything, but there's more than a few questions when it comes to my thought process when it involves these two teams, because as we know, the best ability is availability, and then there's a whole host of both of these cats on the mend on both sides of the sideline. Now, we know when it comes to Jadeveon Clowney, he's dealing with a little bit of illness midweek. OBJ was limited with a hamstring, or a knee rather, and Rashad Higgins, he had the hamstring. But when it comes to the defending AFC champs, Kansas City, well, they're going to have to do things without Tyrann Mathieu. We know Mathieu is out because of illness, and then McCole Hardman still has that oblique that he's nursing. So it's really all going to come down to a quarterback shootout. It's going to be Baker Mayfield versus Patrick Mahomes, and I'm going to have to put all my stock in Patrick Mahomes because it's tough to go against him right now. 28-21, Kansas City comes out on top.
There it is. By the way, as you heard him say, it's going to be a shootout. Go ahead and take that over as well. And if you roll with Mahomes and the Chiefs and give those points, a winning $50 bet means you're going to collect more than $97 on your bet. It's the FanDuel Sportsbook app, the best place to be. All right, let's talk about another big Week 1 matchup. The number 2 and 3 seeds from last year's AFC playoffs faced off in Buffalo. Bills quarterback Josh Allen looking to build on last season's success and is in the early MVP conversation. Then you got Steelers quarterback Ben Roethlisberger entering his 18th season. We saw these Steelers throughout this early preseason dealing with the controversy that came with the contract situation there with TJ Watt. Ben said, hey, just pay the man, give him what he wants. And here we are at Week 1 where the Steelers are getting 6.5 points in this one. Pony, hey, you're in Pittsburgh. Give me your pick for this Steelers game.
Well, they're not going to like it, Steelers fans. These aren't your big brother Steelers, Lisa. This team, the over-under on the FanDuel Sportsbook's only 8.5 in a 17-game season. So the expectations are not what they used to be here. And I look at this matchup very simply. Josh Allen was second in the MVP voting last year. He lit up the NFL. Aaron Rodgers was the only quarterback who was better. And look at the Steelers' defense coming into this game, Lisa. T.J. Watt didn't practice all training camp and preseason. Stephon Tuitt, who was second on the team in sacks, is on injured reserve. Bud Dupree, who was third, is on the Tennessee Titans. And, oh, by the way, 2 of their starting corners left in free agency. Bills Mafia, they're going to love it. They're going to be slamming people through tables after this game. They're going to be so excited. The Bills cover.
I'm with you. I'm all in on that. You know, this is a Super Bowl team against a team that's not making the playoffs. Most years, that's the Steelers going to the Super Bowl and the Bills not make the playoffs. Those years are over. This is a completely different Bills team right now. They're going to go a long way. They're going to win a lot of games, including this one. Josh Allen's played the Steelers only twice so far in his young career. He's won both games. He's covered both games. I don't think the Steelers' offensive line holds up here. I like Buffalo to win big.
All right, guys, great stuff by both of you. Now let's get to a really cool new segment we have for you this year. I'm a numbers nerd, so this is absolutely my jam. Now, the NFL analyzes the location, speed, acceleration of every player on every play, then uses that information to determine various data sets. It's called Next Gen Stats, and we have access to all of that data. So, Ed, you're our analytics guy. Give us a next-gen stat that you're using to help bet this Bills-Steelers game.
You've told everyone what I've been doing this offseason was just pour through next-gen stats and figure out what I can find. Hey, biggest question for this game, and really for the entire season, is what Josh Allen will we see? The poor draft profile and subpar performances the first 2 years, or the superstar gunslinger of 2020? Let's illustrate this with a couple of charts. First, let's look at Allen's quarterback grid from 2019 that divides the football field into rectangles and looks at passer rating within each area. Green is above league average, yellow is average, and red is below league average. And you see red and yellow from 0 to 10 yards and even behind the line of scrimmage. But when you look at 2020, oh yeah, that's more like it. A good bit more green, especially from 0 to 10 yards, where the most throws occur. How? Well, the Bills utilize more play action and pre-snap motion to make Allen more effective. And this matters here because even if Josh Allen regresses this season, the system he is in should still make him an effective quarterback. And for that reason, I am taking the Bills to cover here, Lisa. There
it is, all based on those numbers. Next level info from Next Gen Stats. Steelers fans, if you want to fade Ed, I'm telling you, just do you. A winning $50 bet on your team means you're going to collect more than $95. Just like that. And remember, you can make your first bet on the app risk-free. Just sign up for a new FanDuel Sportsbook account using the promo code right there. More Ways 1000. You're going to get a risk-free bet up to $1,000. Again, that promo code, More Ways 1000. Of course, in addition to making game picks, there are a bunch of cool prop bets on the FanDuel Sportsbook app for each game, along with some season-long props available as well. So let's pop the cork on this pop party, guys. Everyone is invited here. All right, I'm going to give you a season-long prop bet. You're going to give me your pick. Prop party, Dave, you're up first.
All right.
All right, Packers quarterback Aaron Rodgers, over or under 4,550 and a half regular season passing yards.
He's an MVP quarterback, but he's not really a big yards guy. You look at his career high, it's 4,600 yards. That came 10 years ago. By the way, you know, the other mega quarterbacks of a generation, Brady's 5,200, Peyton 5,400, Breeze 5,400, Big Ben 5,100. Here's a guy that's never been over 4,600. Yeah, we get an extra game this year, but his average 4,200 basically over his 11 seasons that he made it through the end of the year. I'm going under.
All right, Ed, coming to you next. Over or under a 6.5 regular season receiving touchdowns for first-year Titan Julio Jones?
Big question here is, who is Ryan Tannehill going to throw to? Yeah, I like A.J. Brown a good bit, but Derrick Henry is not going to be this constant red zone running back. Eventually, defenses are going to stack the box. And so Ryan Tannehill's got to score touchdowns through the air. Not too many options. Probably going to Julio Jones. Give me the over.
Okay, Pony, your turn. Let's focus on a running back now. Saquon Barkley. The Giants taking a long-term approach here to his return from injury. You going over or under 1,125 and a half regular season rushing yards for Barkley this season?
Oh, man, get on the FanDuel Sportsbook now and bet that under. What a great bet that is. Only 2 guys went over that rushing total last year, and I know it was only in a 16-game season. But Saquon Barkley's missed a lot of time the last 2 years. Plus, think about this, Lisa. How many times are the Giants actually going to be leading in the second half? where they lean on Barkley. They got a terrible offensive line. They're going to throw it a ton. Take the under.
And we already know limited workload here in week 1. Thank you, Pony. Cole, you're up. Here's a fun one for you. Over or under 900.5 rushing yards for Ravens quarterback Lamar Jackson.
Well, this is a tricky question. In a perfect world, I would usually say that Lamar Jackson, he would cut back on running the rock. But since he's refined that passing game a little bit, and we've seen the rushing yards dip over the last 2 seasons, albeit that he has been over 1,000 yards, I just don't see him doing what he's going to look to do when it comes to reducing those. There's injuries, of course, J.K. Dobbins and Justice Hill, and with Le'Veon Bell in the practice squad. I just see Lamar Jackson running the ball more out of necessity, so I see him going over that 900.5 yards this season, Lisa.
It'll be interesting to see if he gets over that 1,000 mark too, Cole. Only 2 quarterbacks have rushed for 1,000 yards in a season, Michael Vick and Lamar Jackson. Thanks, Cole. Great stuff, guys. And now all of you at home can place your bets and a bunch of other really fun prop bets right now on the FanDuel Sportsbook app. Again, new users, sign up using that promo code MOREWAYS1000 for your risk-free bet up to $1,000. All right, time to indulge your fantasies now, boys and girls. Time to dig in on fantasy, and we're making it free. Yes, our free daily fantasy contest you can enter right now to kick off the NFL season. Sign up for the Hulu Plus Live TV Huddle Up for your chance to win part of the $20,000 prize pool. The contest is live right now on FanDuel.com, so log on and pick 9 players you think will score the most points in Week 1. And hey, while you're setting your lineup, keep this in mind as well. There's a special Hulu New Wave kickoff bonus. Any fan who registers the highest, rosters the highest scoring New Wave player gets a share of a $5,000 bonus. So there's that as well. And what is New Wave, you ask? Well, a New Wave player is a player who has been in the NFL for 3 years or less. So to give you a little help here, we asked FanDuel editor-in-chief JJ Zacharyson to give us his top 3 New Wave player picks. JJ, who's on your roster here in Week 1?
Hey Lisa, if you're looking at first and second year players on this weekend slate, I think one wide receiver who's pretty obvious is Devontae Smith. He's only $5,300, playing in his first NFL game against what could be the worst secondary in football in Atlanta. This game has a 48.5 point over-under, and look at the Eagles roster. There's not many alternative pass catchers for Jalen Hurts to confidently throw to, so I like Devontae Smith at $5,300 quite a bit. There's also Najee Harris, another rookie, going up against Buffalo. Najee Harris, $6,500. He's going to be the bell cow running back in this Pittsburgh offense. I think there's some concern that this game could get away from Pittsburgh. There could be a negative game script, but Najee Harris is a great pass catcher out of the backfield. He should be game script proof. So I really like Najee Harris at that price point. He's a really great value. And then finally, second year guy, I'm going to stack Devontae Smith and go with Jalen Hurts for $7,600. Again, he's facing a very weak Atlanta secondary. Jalen Hurts wasn't the best passer in the world last season when he started, but in the 4 games that he started, he averaged 23 fantasy points per game. Why? Because he can get it done with his legs. So against this weak secondary, maybe he gets it done with his arm as well. I think he has a really high ceiling, especially at $7,600.
Thank you, JJ. So head now to FanDuel.com to sign up for the Hulu Plus Live TV Huddle Up contest for your chance to win part of the $20,000 prize pool. And remember, hey, if you roster the best New Wave player, you'll get a part of that $5,000 bonus. Good luck and have fun. And right now, we're getting more fun in the show. Back to our Week 1 game previews now. Bringing it home here to Los Angeles. The Chargers are actually packing their bags and getting cross-country to take on the Washington football team. LA quarterback Justin Herbert, Offensive Rookie of the Year last season, has impressed teammates already this season. Keenan Allen coming out and saying he has, quote, no ceiling. Very excited to see his development. While on the other side, we get some Fitz magic. Ryan Fitzpatrick entering his 17th year in the league. Of course, his first here with Washington. Guys, this is the tightest spread of the week. Washington is getting one. Ed, underdog at home. How are you playing this one?
Not to mention a West Coast team going all the way out to the East Coast, and they are favored. So this is pretty interesting as far as your typical spreads are concerned. But as far as this one goes, I am a huge believer in Justin Herbert. The Chargers were 7th in EPA per dropback in games that Justin Herbert started. And that's pretty impressive. But when you look at what Washington did just a season ago, well, they were 3rd best in EPA per dropback defense. And so the question is, okay, what is going to be stickier? What are we going to see next season? Is it Justin Herbert or Washington defense? Well, defense is harder to predict from one season to the next. And a lot of that was because of quarterback pressures that Washington was able to generate. I'm not sure you can rely on that as much. And you look at the other side of the ball, Chargers' pass defense was pretty decent. And now they're going up against Ryan Fitzpatrick, who has a lot of turnover-worthy throws. And so I put all of that together and I say, you know what? Justin Herbert should go out there firing. Everything should be just fine as far as LA is concerned, and I think they're covering.
I thought Washington would be favored in this game by maybe 2.5, and right now they're a slight underdog. But you look at Ron Rivera and what he did with his team, 3-13 2 years ago, dead last in the division, and they win it last year. I know they only had to go 7-9 to do that, but the fact that he took a team from the cellar to the top in his first year, he had some health problems as well. Here's a guy that just has his team believing in him. And a quarterback upgrade in Fitzmagic, a good young offense. I think the defense is really going to bring it here. The pass rush is still very strong. I'm going to take Washington. I think this line is off.
All right, Washington. Tail Dave here. A winning $50 bet means you're going to collect more than $93. Again, that's a FanDuel Sportsbook app. Now let's get to the Bears, who will be here in Los Angeles taking on the Rams. Chicago head coach Matt Nagy starting veteran quarterback Andy Dalton, despite rookie Justin Fields' impressive preseason. Certainly a bright future ahead of him. Nagy saying we're not going to rush it. Now on the other side, Matt Stafford making his first start for the Rams after getting traded from Detroit. The Bears getting 7.5 points in this one. This is the biggest spread here in week 1. Cole, you're in Chicago. You know I'm coming to you for your pick here, but I want you to hold that thought here. I'm going to get to Pony first. Pony, how are you playing this game?
Let me preface my pick by saying I think Andy Dalton stinks, and the Bears are making a huge mistake by starting him. However, if you look at this game, the Rams' offense is going to take time. They don't know who their running back is yet because the Cam Akers injury, and it's Matt Stafford's first game. So given the size of the spread, with the Bears defense, there's continuity there with Khalil Mack. I'm going to take Chicago, and I hate myself for it because I don't like Andy Dalton anymore, but I think it's the right bet in this game.
Well, Pony, I'm with you and I'm against you because last year we know that the Bears, they threw out some fool's gold, started 5-1, then dropped 6 in a row. But it is a new year and a new team. But it concerns me that Andy Dalton hasn't had a winning quarterback record since 2015. Now, I know Justin Fields isn't the starting quarterback, so that's going to be the biggest question. And the Rams, their defense, well, it was designed to go out there, pressure the quarterback, and eliminate the pass. So Andy Dalton, he's going to have his hands full. And David Montgomery, it's going to be a long day for him coming out of that backfield. And when it comes to Matt Stafford, first year with a new team, well, all you can do is pencil him in for another 4,000-plus yard passing season. And with Stafford, with Kupp and Bobby Trees and Deshaun Jackson, I think that everything's going to be just fine here. The Rams, I think they go out and win big. It's 24-14.
There it is. Bears fans, you're getting 7.5 points in this one. Maybe that's your confidence boost here. You want to bet with your heart, go for it. A winning $50 bet on your team means you're going to collect more than $95. All right, let's roll on here, you guys. Ed, you used Next Gen Stats earlier in the show. Now I want you to give us 3 bets based on that next level data that you think will bring us some really good value on these bets available here in week 1. What you got?
Well, let's do some more player props, all right? Why not? And let's talk about DeAndre Hopkins, one of the great receivers this game has ever seen. Let's take a look at one game in particular. His route tree from his Week 15 performance against the Eagles, easily his best game last season. White lines are his routes. Green represents what he did after the catch. And boy, he put in some great work as a true deep threat. His average depth of target was 13.1 yards, and Kyler Murray's passer rating when targeting Hopkins was 149.1. That's near perfect. I like Hopkins to go over his season-long prop total and his over prop in his season opener against the Titans.
All right, let's get right to the Vikings and the Bengals here. In week 1, why is that a good thing for Dalvin Cook?
Dalvin Cook, really consistent running back, and we should expect more of the same in 2021. Here is his running back carry chart for his Week 9 game against the Lions, where he absolutely carved them up. Yellow lines are for short gains of 0 to 5 yards. Green lines are for bigger gains of more than 5 yards. And one true attribute of a great running back is how many yards they gain after contact. And here, in only 22 carries, he had 121 yards after contact. Cook finished second in yards after contact in 2020. And for that reason, I have him over his season long and Week 1 prop bet.
All right, finally, you have some interesting next-gen stats on Ryan Tannehill, who's on my bench, by the way. What do you have for me?
He might stay on your bench for a little bit because I'm a little bit bearish as far as how I think the Titans quarterback will perform. Here is his quarterback grid. Areas of the field that are concerning are really behind the line of scrimmage, which normally isn't a big deal. What you do from 0 to 10 yards, much greater impact on your overall offense. But my problem is the Titans lost a lot of underrated receivers like Corey Davis, Adam Humphries, Jonnu Smith. And I don't think Julio Jones is going to fill the entire void. And so for that, I'm going under Tannehill's season long and game one props.
Awesome stuff, Ed. Thank you very much. Take that info now. Place your bets on the FanDuel Sportsbook app. Of course, you can place your wager on the bets we just talked about or hundreds of others. Remember to sign up for your account using More Ways 1000. All right, you guys, let's take this to the Meadowlands here. We've got the Giants hosting the Broncos. You know that. We talked about New York running back Saquon Barkley earlier in the show when we were betting those props. He is coming back, but the team is taking some time, right? A long-term approach to get him back on the field. Week 2 last season, remember that ACL. So here we are. He will be on the field in limited capacity for week 1. As for the Broncos, Vic Fangio naming Teddy Bridgewater the starting quarterback. This will be his first regular season start for Denver. Giants getting 2.5 points in this matchup. Getting 2.5 points. Pony, give me your pick for this game.
Well, I apply a simple betting axiom to games like this, Lisa, and that is, do I think the underdog can win the game? And in this case, the Giants at home getting 2.5, I think they can. And that's why I'm going to take them. You know, with Denver, they're going to be so careful in this game. Bridgewater is a conservative quarterback by nature. They probably think they can just play defense and win, given the state of the Giants' offensive line and Barkley not being 100%. But for those reasons, I like New York. If they can't beat a team that finished in last place last year with Bridgewater at quarterback, then a bunch of people there deserve to get fired. It's a huge game for the future of the Giants.
I'm going to go with you.
Go ahead, Dave.
Yeah, I'm going to go with you, Pony. And I think nobody's talking about the addition of Kenny Golladay here and what he's going to bring to this Giants offense. They already have some very talented receivers, but to bring him in here, that's going to give Danny Dimes just that extra number 1 wide receiver option. I'm just matching up the Giants offensive players and the Denver offensive players. I don't see Denver scoring that many points in this game. I'm with you. I think the Giants pull off the slight upset here.
Yeah, I think Giants fans have got to be so excited to kick off their season here with the Broncos at home. You're getting 2.5 points in this one. A winning $50 bet on your team means you're going to collect $100 on your wager. And hey, placing bets on your phone or computer, we know it's easy and fun and legal here, but you can get the full FanDuel experience if you get yourself to the FanDuel Sportsbook at the Meadowlands. Doors are open for all the games this weekend and any day of the week. The FanDuel Sportsbook at the Meadowlands is located right across the parking lot from MetLife Stadium, features dozens of TVs, table service, food and drink, and of course, live sports betting on all your favorite teams and players. So if you're in the area or looking for a fun spot to hit up on vacation, this is bucket list. Make sure to check out the FanDuel Sportsbook at the Meadowlands. And hey, let's stay in New York and talk Jets. Gang Green actually hitting the road. Going to be at Carolina to kick off the season. Number 2 overall pick, Zach Wilson, will be under center for this New York team after an impressive preseason. Loved what we saw from that kid. The Jets' defense will be familiar with the guy on the other side of the ball here. Former Jets quarterback Sam Darnold now under center for Carolina. Jets are getting 4.5 points on the road. Ed, which team do you like here in this matchup in Charlotte?
So the big reason for me why I love the Jets here is all about Zach Wilson. Here is a quarterback who led BYU to one of the more effective offenses in college football a season ago. EPA per dropback, BYU was 4th best in college football. That's incredible. And he's getting a lot of weapons that Jets fans haven't seen in quite some time, notably Corey Davis. His expected catch over expected catch rate was 9.6%. That is 8th best in the NFL from a season ago. And the Jets drafted Elijah Moore, 34th overall in the 2021 NFL draft. So a lot of weapons for a rookie quarterback who's going up against a defense that, may have some holes there. And on the other side of the football, we don't know if Sam Darnold is an NFL caliber quarterback. We need to see how he performs in a much better system, but we don't know that yet. But we do know what Zach Wilson can do when he has a terrific infrastructure, and for that reason, I think the Jets are covering.
And you see that graphic there. The line actually has just moved. Jets fans, you're getting 4.5 points in this one. And a winning $50 bet on that 4.5 means you're going to collect more than $95. Thank you, Ed. Let's check back in now with our NFL analyst, Cole Wright. Cole, we did this last season, and I absolutely loved it. We're bringing it back. Let's talk underdogs, giving them a little love, because betting an underdog to win outright, you're going to get great value. You're going to get a big payout. So, Cole, let's talk week one. Who are these dogs that you're betting?
Well, Dave, he touched on the fact that Kenny Golladay is now a member of the New York Giants, but so is Kyle Rudolph. That's a good news for Danny Dimes, as he called Daniel Jones and the New York Giants. But we know also Saquon Barkley, he's back. So Blake Martinez defensively, he's a tackling machine. There's no doubt about that. And Denver with Teddy Bridgewater, as conservative as they are, not going to have enough firepower to get a win away from Mile High. 21-10, the Giants get the win in this one. And then on the flip side, well, I have to go with the Houston Texans over the Jacksonville Jaguars because it's tough for me to trust Trevor Lawrence in his first game on the road away from Jacksonville to go out there and get that win. And I just think there's going to be too much offensive firepower for Houston. Mark Ingram, Phillip Lindsay, Brandon Cooks, Anthony Miller. I think it's going to be a collective effort offensively for Houston. 34-17, they're winning big here.
Two great picks there by Cole. Go ahead and tail Cole's upset picks or make any other bet on the FanDuel Sportsbook app right now, risk-free, up to $1,000. Again, all you have to do, sign up for your FanDuel Sportsbook account. New users are getting that risk-free bet up to $1,000 just by using that promo code MOREWAYS1000. So right now on this show, we're going to get frisky with this risk-free bet. Guys, everyone back in here. I need a $1,000 risk-free bet from each of you. That's going to hit on the FanDuel Sportsbook here this weekend. Dave, you're first. What's your bet?
Yeah, I know it's week one, so we can do a season-long bet, but I like a game so much this week, I'm just going to keep it simple. Green Bay, New Orleans, two teams that just cannot stop each other. Scored 67 points last year combined. 9 out of the last 10 times these teams have played, they've scored 55 or more, including games that have got to 80. Total's only 50. I'm all in here. $1,000 risk-free bet picks me up 900 Benjamins.
I'm going to do a season-long pick here, and I'm also going to steal Pony's thunder because I enjoy doing that, especially early in the season. T.J. Watt had more quarterback pressures than anyone else in the NFL last season, and so I think he will cash those pressures into actual sacks this go-round. And despite the contract conversations, I'm not worried about that. I think T.J. Watt will become the defensive player of the year, and so a $1,000 risk-free bet gets me $7,500.
I'm going for a big payday. I'm going to put together a two-team money line parlay for week one. I am a believer in Jameis Winston. Sign me up. I think they're one of the hardest teams to predict in football because they're playing at a neutral site. And who knows what kind of Jameis we're going to get. They're going to air it out, take New Orleans to beat Green Bay. Plus, Tennessee's defense was terrible last year. I think Arizona goes there and wins. Collect $6,000 when you make this moneyline parlay today.
It's real, people. It's happening. You can do it right now on the FanDuel Sportsbook app. Make sure to sign up for your new FanDuel Sportsbook account right now to place those bets. Remember, use the promo code MOREWAYS1000 to get your risk-free bet up to $1,000. Again, easy, legal, and live. Take your winnings if you hit. Get your money back if you don't. It is the best mulligan in the business. And here we are, the favorite part of my show and how Super Bowl predictions, guys. I want your best value Super Bowl bet. Dave, you're going to start us off. Who you got to win the whole thing?
Well, last year, Tampa, the first team to win in their home stadium. Guess who's hosting this year? SoFi. That's where the Rams play. Look, they made the Super Bowl 3 years ago with Jared Goff. Now they have Matthew Stafford. I'm taking the Rams at 15-1 to win it all.
I'm approaching this a couple of ways. One, my Super Bowl champions, the Baltimore Ravens. But to hedge that bet, I'm taking the NFC West as the winning division for the Super Bowl. The reason? Well, I think 3 teams out of that division will make the playoffs. And so a 3 out of 14 chance, that's better than 20%. Implied probability of plus 420, that's less than 20%. So you're getting value there. NFC West, my division to win it all.
Lisa, you love to do your homework and study. You love facts and numbers, things like that. How about this? The Buccaneers last year went from 7-9 to the Super Bowl. The year before that, Kansas City did it with Mahomes as a second-year starter. So put those two things together. You get the Chargers at 33-1, 7-9 last year, and a quarterback that's going to make an even bigger leap in Herbert. I think there's tremendous value in the Chargers at 33-1.
You had me at hello, Pony. I actually wrote down everything you just said. Great stuff, you guys. From game picks, prop bets, best bets, we covered it all. And Cole, let's get to you.
Well, I'm going to have to go with the sleeper pick here. I'm going to have to go with the Arizona Cardinals because there's just too many new pieces of the puzzle. I know it could be a dark horse, but when you take a look at A.J. Green and Nuke Hopkins and you combine that with the speed of Christian Kirk and Chase Edmonds and James Conner, I think Kyler Murray, he's going to have a lot of fun when it comes to putting points on the board. So the numbers, they're looking pretty favorable when it comes to cashing in a big ticket with Arizona.
It's one of the teams I think is going to be most exciting to watch this season. You guys absolutely crushed it. And yes, we covered it all. And yes, the NFL is back, and so are we. Can you tell that we're a little bit excited? Week 1 is here. Check out all the bets that we talked about on the FanDuel Sportsbook app. New users, again, the promo code MOREWAYS1000 from all of us here at FanDuel. Thanks for hanging with us today. We're going to be right back here next week. Good luck with your bets.
After an unprecedented year apart, the time has finally come to say, welcome back to the prestige and excitement of witnessing history firsthand. This November, beautiful Del Mar will welcome back the world's best thoroughbreds, the brightest stars and most passionate fans to the Breeders' Cup. One experience that's a breed apart. Tickets on sale now at breederscup.com.